Well, we've done it. We've reached the Europa League Conference Final in record-breaking fashion, scoring the most goals ever in the campaign. We haven't even played the final yet. Very impressive from a rotated Chelsea side. Or is it? The truth is, I think it is. Because this is about par, yeah? I think it's unfair to just demand Chelsea to win this competition when there will be a strong team in the final. And Chelsea, let's be real, we've been finding ourselves this season. We have. So, we'll be favourites for the final, but it doesn't mean we're obligated to win it. Andy Brassel, European football expert, speaks about Chelsea need to get to the final, but the truth is there will be a good final. A broadcaster, pundit, journalist who knows a lot about Fiorentina and Real Betis, respectively, who are currently 3-3 on aggregate, demonstrating two good teams going at it. And of course, posing a really interesting question, what kind of team do we play in the final? Maybe we'll talk about all that today. Guys, welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. Chelsea 1, Djurgården 0, 5-1 on aggregate. We're going to get into it today and the ramifications of reaching the final generally, because I was going to say the only English team to reach a final, but I'm pretty sure Spurs have just done it. Look, thanks for joining me. Thank you for supporting the content as well. You can do so by liking and subscribing. Let's get into it. All right. So, we'll talk about the game in isolation. We played a lot of teenagers, very, very talented, some great stories in there as well. At one point, we had 5 teenagers on the pitch. Half the team were teens in a European semi-final. I know it was a freedom that was afforded to us because of the position we got ourselves in. Yeah, man, but it's good. It's good. Before I do talk about the game and the deeper ramifications, I'm going to reiterate something that I've been saying a lot throughout the last few months. Winning becomes a habit. Arsenal have just been eliminated from the Champions League. A completely different kettle of fish, different level of opposition, of course. Arsenal are an excellent team. Banter aside, they're a very good football team. But you know what? For the last half a decade, they haven't won anything. They haven't made a habit of winning trophies. Now, I don't care what you say. The Conference League is a competition that you play with a team. You play opposition, you get to a final, you play, hopefully win the final, you lift a trophy. That is a trophy. And that will become addictive for the youngest Premier League team in the league to be like, you know what? This is great. Let's keep doing this. Let's win. And in that way, it's provided this opportunity for us, the Conference League, for a very young team, and not just that, a rotated young team, often with academy players, B team, to keep sharp, get Jackson coming on 2 goals off the bench and the other leg, and other players playing, Tariq George coming through, them being trusted in the first team, Josh Chiampong, players being played into the first team. It's been a useful tool. Of course, playing on Thursdays isn't ideal, and hopefully, Touchwood will be playing on Tuesday, Wednesdays next season. But it's been a really ideal scenario for a young coach and a young team to win a trophy and complete the set, win every trophy. Will be the only team in European football that has won every European trophy, and in our case, domestic trophy as well. We'll be the only one in the Premier League and Europe and whatever. I don't want to be in the Conference League again, but I'll maintain my position. I'm very happy to be in it and win it this season after not being in Europe for a little while. So that is an opportunity. Of course, if we are in it again, I'll want to walk into the sea. If we somehow end up in the Conference League next season, I will be advocating for Chelsea to just see if they can not be, just bow out of it. I'd rather not be in Europe. But for this season, for this team, it was an opportunity. And it looks like we've made par by getting to the final, and we can be successful by winning another European final. That being said, let's have a look at what happened here then. Chelsea won 1-0. Of course, Keenan Dewsbury-Hall scored what actually was a lovely goal, winning player of the match here on SofaScore. This is how SofaScore's got us lining up. They played a 4-3-3. Sort of, this is how it ended up with on the pitch at the end. Well, not at the end there, sorry. This is how it's got us looking. I mean, Kukurea playing in the pocket. Joshua Chiampong playing left centre-back. Kind of also in a sort of left CDM pocket. Badiashile, what the hell's going on here? Tosin, sort of right centre-back, which would mean Gusto plays advanced. All over the gaff, apparently. Yeah, this was a vibes game, ladies and gentlemen. Reece James holding down the right central midfield there. Dewsbury Hall, sort of, that's the Cole Palmer role. Slightly right pocket, but a freedom to run wherever you want, sort of thing. Sancho, low score here, didn't really do much. Sort of passable. Of course, this is huge talking point. I mean, Joshua Chiampong, we'll speak about all these players, but 16-year-old Reggie Walsh, the youngest player to ever start a European game for Chelsea, 16 years old, 200 days. Looked good, man. He looks like a child. He is a child, and that's not me digging him out. He's 16 years old doing his GCSEs. And Tyreek George starting up front, getting an assist. Yet another assist. Loads of goal involvements this season. A couple of goals, but a bunch of assists for young Tyreek George. And of course, sub appearances from Trev, but two more teenagers in 17-year-old Genesis Antwi. Just look at his, like, they're basically playing right wing. And Shimweka, of course, the young striker, also 17. So you got a 17-year-old, a 17-year-old, I think a couple of 19-year-olds of Chiampong and George, and Rorsch, a 16-year-old. So the kids are all right, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can see, it's a respectable, home win. They had a couple of chances. Jorgensen probably deserves a little bit of credit. He made a few good saves. I mean, yeah, it was a sort of okay home performance. I should say as well, like, before this whole semi-final against Djurgården, I did not know about Swedish football culture. I just assumed they would be like nice Scandinavian people. They are, from booing the remembrance of the Pope to, I still haven't looked up I should look up like the geopolitical, links to that. I'm just ignorant to it all. Yeah, they've got like ultras, bro. Like they are not like the biggest Swedish team either. This is their first European campaign, and their fans are mental, and I'd say quite mean. But they were honestly, the last time I saw the shed like that, I was thinking years ago now, when I went to watch Chelsea against Grimsby Town, when Reece James scored it, where we battered them 7-1 or something, and Reece James scored at the end that lovely goal, his first goal for Chelsea under Lampard. I remember I wasn't in the shed, but I was right up next to it, and it was full of Grimsby Town players. It was their cup final away at Chelsea. It might have been in the evening as well. Anyway, they were geared up to rivals, and they were rough. The way they were they were really, really going for it, as it were. So I don't know, I guess I thought Swedish fans would be really nice and soft. I have no idea why, but they were assertive. They were assertive young gentlemen, let's say. But credit to them as well, the way they supported their team, 5-1 down in aggregate, bouncing all over the gaff in the final minutes. Of course, it was a big occasion for them. And that's not, I don't mean that in a condescending way. I mean that in a congratulatory way. It's a semi-final. But, ultimately they were coming up against Chelsea C team, 16-year-old starting, and we're just demonstrating, the different classes. They did have moments, and Jorgensen, to his credit, was called into action at times. So there we go, guys. We've avoided embarrassment. Yeah, that's it, really. You could also say, if we'd won the FA Cup or the League Cup, and we were going to finish top 3, easily top 3 in the Premier League, so we're a few points up, which, to be honest, is not that much better than we're doing now in the league, but just say we were safely in a podium finish, yeah. And we got knocked out the conference, they'd be like, well, I didn't really care about it, yada, yada, yada. But that's not the case. This is a trophy we want to win. And by getting to the final, I maintain that we have avoided embarrassment, and we've avoided embarrassment by doing it in quite a good way. Like I said, a rotational way where, dare I say, if not for this competition, it would have been a drastic failure of a transfer in Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. But he's kind of been the standout player in this competition, Kiernan. This wasn't meant to be how it is. He was supposed to be a really useful rotational player in the Chelsea first team. I hope for him he gets a good transfer. I think he could play in mid-lower Premier League and be like the starting guy, and find great form. He's a top professional, a top guy by all accounts. He shouldn't be playing against this level of opposition, but he shouldn't really be a Chelsea starting player. 30 million quid, of course, a lot of money as well, considering there's other players, but he's been a leader. He's been good in this competition, and this competition has offered him an opportunity to have a journey at Chelsea, and again, reach the final. So look, when the final comes, we'll talk about it and preview it. But it is a really interesting thought exercise to say it's a European Cup final against good opposition. I'm just going to quickly... So it's gone into extra time. Fiorentina, Betis. Look, either way, it's going to be a good team. Yeah, it's going to be a good team, Fiorentina, Betis. Do we play the Chelsea first team and try and win a trophy? Well, my answer will be to that. If we have qualified for the Champions League, I think we keep the rotational B team going and give them a chance. We let them start the final and play. Maybe have Cole Palmer, but have the big dogs on the bench. But you let your Dewsbury Halls, your Georges start. Do you know what I mean? And your Tosins and your Badia Shields, they all start. Yeah, in the final. If touchwood it doesn't happen, some crisis happens and we finish 6th, we don't get Champions League football, I think we freaking go for it. I know we're already qualified for Europa if we finish there or whatever, but at least it's something. It's a feel-good moment at the end of the season that would have been seen as a failure domestically. So then you just start all the big guns and you go, right, we just freaking win this no matter what, And incidentally, last time we started all the big dogs is the only time we've lost or the only time we haven't won and we lost, and that was against Legia, of course, at home, and we started the big dogs. So, complacency might even come in as well, which is a really, really frightening thing. But hopefully we finish top 5. We start a rotated 11, give the people a chance to start on the final who were part of the journey. Like Dewsbury Hall absolutely would deserve that chance. But, you bring on a Cole Palmer for a half an hour and, a Jackson and all them, man. And maybe an Enzo. Maybe an Enzo Fernandez starts with Dewsbury Hall and Reece James in the midfield, and you bring on Caicedo later. Do you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. But we'll cross that bridge when it comes. I'm very pleased we've done it, guys. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments down in the comment section below. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Daily content here, of course. A little reminder also, there's daily content on my other channel, Football Yannick, which is all non-Chelsea football stuff. Link in the top of the description. Alright, guys. Take care of yourselves. At your Chelsea. Peace.